Jasmine Fiore was a 28-year-old model, living in the glitz and glamour in LA. She worked as a model and an event planner at Playboy. Her life was one big party, until one day she was brutally murdered, stuffed into a suitcase then thrown into a dumpster. This is her story. Jasmine was born in California, in 1981. When she was 8, her parents got a divorce, so Jasmine lived with her mother, Lisa Lepore. They lived in a small town, called Bonnie Doon, just outside of Santa Cruz, California. Growing up, Jasmine loved being outdoors and playing sports, especially football. Jasmine was a beautiful girl full of energy, she could light up a room with her charm, and she always wanted big things. She wanted to leave the small town of Bonnie Doon to become a famous model. So, she took the first step and moved to Los Angeles. Jasmine was working as a model, she did swimsuit modeling, and body painting modeling at parties. She also did swimsuit and adult phone line commercials and worked in shows at casinos in Las Vegas. Jasmine had just obtained her real estate license and her plan was to open up a gym and personal trainer center as well. In the year 2000, Jasmine was 18 years old, and auditioned to be a Playboy centerfold. Although she did not get the job, she was offered a job as a hostess for the girls of Playboy Golf, which she took. In 2005, Jasmine met Travis Heinrich. They fell in love and got engaged later that year. However, a year and a half into their engagement, they broke it off, but continued dating. During these years, Jasmine had a few serious relationships. She had married and divorced Michael Cardozi, who was later sent to prison for 3 years. She also dated LA real estate agent Robert Hasman for about 2 years. Then in 2006, Jasmine was promoted to Playboy event coordinator, where she would organize parties in Los Angeles and Las Vegas. She was living the high life. On the 16th of March, 2009, Jasmine was working in a casino in Las Vegas, when she met Ryan Jenkins, a 32-year-old Canadian real estate investor who was just eliminated on VH1's reality TV show called Megan Wants a Millionaire. Jasmine was immediately attracted to Ryan. He was handsome and charismatic, sexy, laid back, very down to earth, and everything she thought she wanted. The two fell in love, and believed they were each other's soulmates because their birthdays were a few days apart. Ryan proposed to Jasmine and they got married 2 days later on the 18th of March, in Las Vegas at a place called a Little Wedding Chapel. Ryan and Jasmine were a power couple. Jasmine's career as a model was growing, and Ryan was a TV celebrity. Ryan would throw huge parties and invite his rich friends, and Jasmine would invite her celebrity and model friends. Their parties were very popular, and Jasmine and Ryan were always seen together, touching, kissing and looked very much in love. They did get married very quick, but they both got something out of the marriage. Ryan got a green card, and Jasmine was getting an allowance from Ryan of $10,000 per month. They were living the high life. Ryan had just been eliminated from the reality TV show Megan Wants a Millionaire, which was a spin-off created by 51 Minds Entertainment and VH1. Their show would be about Megan Hauserman, a former Playboy model and former Beauty and the Geek contestant, as the main star, and she would be in a house filled with male millionaires, who would be competing for Megan to be their trophy wife. Contestants would only be hired if they had a net worth of $1 million or more. Ads were placed on radio stations and through casting parties at nightclubs. This is where they found the 32-year-old contestant, Ryan Jenkins, in Las Vegas, where he apparently won the team over with his cocky charm. He wasn't the most attractive guy, but he was intriguing and had a good personality. As there was no standardized system for vetting a potential reality show contestant, they would have to fill out a heavily detailed personal information containing every job, every address, financial details, loans and assets, and also included a full background check. VH1 hired Collective Intelligence Corporation to complete all the background checks on their contestants. When they completed Ryan's check, it only searches for US criminal charges, and as Ryan was a Canadian citizen, they subcontracted out to Straight Line International. When they completed Ryan's background search, it came back as clean. So, Ryan was offered a spot in the cast. During the reality TV show, Megan had liked Ryan from day one, and had made it all the way through to the finals. Megan found Ryan on Facebook and got his number, where the two would talk on the phone after the shoot, and had a relationship outside of filming, which was kept a secret. But when Megan told the producers that she wanted Ryan to win, the producers made it clear that the viewers would not want him to win, and that she should rethink his options, so she did, and Ryan was eliminated. 3 days later, when the show finished, Megan called Ryan to explain that she wanted to pick him, but couldn't, and that she was very upset about it, and wanted to meet. But Ryan replied, saying that he was very upset when he left the show, so he went to Las Vegas, and he met his soulmate, to which he had married a beautiful Playboy model, called Jasmine. During Ryan and Jasmine's marriage, Ryan applied for another reality TV show, called I Love Money. He got casted, and was filming on the Mexico set, and he was very determined to win the $250,000 prize for his bride. In May, 2 months into their marriage, their relationship was very rocky, and Jasmine wanted to get their marriage annulled, but the paperwork was never filed. In June 2009, Ryan found out that Jasmine kissed her ex-fiancé, Travis, and the two started arguing at an event. Then Ryan hit Jasmine on the arm, so hard she fell into the pool. Ryan was charged with battery constituting domestic violence, and was due to go on trial that December. They were now living separately. So Ryan calls Megan Hauserman for relationship advice, to which he said that Jasmine was ruining his life, but that he was obsessed with her, and he did not want to leave her. Ryan went back to Mexico to film the reality TV show, I Love Money, and Ryan would call Jasmine while he was on set, and promised her that he would win, and he would be able to give her the life he has always promised her. Ryan was a very jealous and suspicious man, and would always ask Jasmine what she was doing, where she was last night, who she hung out with, and who she spoke to. Ryan's co-workers noticed how obsessed he was with Jasmine, and were making it a story on the show, laughing at how Ryan was obsessed with his model wife. On the 11th of August, 2009, Jasmine spent the day at the beach with her ex-husband Michael Cardozi, as he had just been released from prison. Jasmine had kept in contact with him while he was in jail, and they were both excited to see each other. They were seen hugging and kissing at the beach, and Jasmine was seen not wearing her wedding ring while the two were having dinner. But Ryan was trying to fix their marriage. On the 13th of August, 2009, Jasmine agreed to go to San Diego with Ryan to a charity fundraiser event they were attending for the Karma Foundation at the Del Mar Hilton. They checked into their room at the Yellow Barge Hotel in Del Mar, and attended the charity poker tournament. At 2 a.m., on the 15th of August, 2009, they left the charity event and went to the Ivy Hotel, a nightclub in downtown San Diego, where they were both seen having a good time. This was the last time Jasmine was seen alive. Sometime during the night, Ryan learned that Jasmine had been secretly texting her ex-boyfriend, Robert Hasman, talking about how she wanted a divorce, she wanted to leave the marriage. Her texts read, "Send a plane for me, come get me, I'm coming back to Vegas to be with you, I'm done with Ryan Jenkins." At 4:30 a.m., Ryan returned back to his hotel room at the Yellowberg Hotel, alone. He then left his room, which was on the ground floor, through the balcony doors. Then he dragged Jasmine, who was severely bashed, into the room. Once Jasmine was in their room, she tried to fight back. She grabbed her phone and tried to call the police, but Ryan was much stronger. He grabbed her, and strangled her to death. Ryan, now realized that he has murdered Jasmine, tried to cover his tracks. He pulled all her teeth out and then cut her fingers off, so police couldn't identify her. He then mutilated her body, so upon looking at the corpse, Jasmine was not recognizable. Thinking that he has succeeded, he undressed her, and squeezed her naked corpse into a suitcase, to which he would later abandon in an alleyway dumpster. Later that same morning, at 9 a.m., Ryan checked out of their hotel room alone. Then when he got back to their penthouse apartment, he called the police and reported Jasmine as missing. He told authorities that they had just returned from their trip to San Diego, and that Jasmine had left the house to run some errands, and never returned. Then on the same day, there was a 911 call about a suitcase that was found in an alleyway in Buena Park, California. When the suitcase was opened, there was a woman's nude body that had been mutilated, bashed and crushed to fit inside. Her fingertips had been cut off and her teeth pulled out, and upon looking at her corpse, she was so badly mutilated that she was unrecognizable. Detectives had opened up a homicide investigation to find who she was, and who brutally murdered her. The following day, on the 16th of August, Ryan packed his bags and left their penthouse home in Los Angeles. He got in his car at about 9 a.m. and drove to Nevada to pick up his speedboat. The next day on the 17th of August, Ryan received a call from the police, and told them that he was in Utah, on his way to Canada as he needed to resolve some immigration issues. On the 18th of August, the detectives are getting closer to identifying the body. During the autopsy, they discovered that the woman had breast implants. They traced the serial number to the surgeon, who confirmed who they were purchased by. Detectives had identified the deceased woman as Jasmine Fiore. The coroner determined that the cause of death was strangulation, and that she was mutilated post-mortem, and that she had been dead about a couple hours before she was found, stuffed in the suitcase. Detectives had found her white Mercedes, abandoned in a parking lot in West Hollywood, about 1 mile from their home in Los Angeles. While investigating the Mercedes, detectives found blood stains on the passenger seat, the back seats and the rear windshield of her car. They also found a letter written to Jasmine from Ryan, to which he portrayed his love and jealousy. They then investigated their hotel room, to which they found blood stains on the patio. Detectives were gathering a lot of evidence against Ryan, believing that he had killed Jasmine out of jealousy and anger. When detectives were investigating Ryan, they found out that he had a record of assault, once in 2005 to a woman in Calgary, and again in 2009 on his current wife Jasmine. To which, they had immediately had suspicion that he was the killer. On the 19th of August, Ryan was in Birch Bay, and he had called his father. Distressed, he told him that they found his wife Jasmine murdered. In the meantime, the Whatcom County Sheriff's Department received a BOLO report on Ryan's location. He had been spotted driving a black BMW SUV, towing a boat towards the Canadian border. Detectives followed their lead, and found the car, abandoned, at the marina in Blaine, Washington. However, there was no boat on the trailer, and the SUV was still hot. Detectives had contacted Canadian authorities to be alerted to watch for him, as he was a prime suspect in a murder investigation. The U.S. Coast Guard and the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, had also been patrolling the Washington waters looking for Ryan. Later that day, Ryan was seen piloting his boat into a marina in Point Roberts, the same town where his stepmother lives. On the 20th of August, detectives had charged Ryan with Jasmine's murder, and had put a warrant out for Ryan's arrest. Later that day, at 6 p.m., Ryan was seen driving a silver PT Cruiser with a young blonde woman, his half-sister, Elena, where they went to the Thunderbird Motel in Hope, Canada. Elena went into the reception and paid for 3 nights, all in cash, while Ryan had waited in the car. Ryan parked his car next to the dumpster instead of in their parking spot beside his room. They both entered their motel room, then after 20 minutes, Elena left. During this time, TMZ had uncovered Ryan's previous criminal record, leaking that he was arrested in 2005 for assaulting his girlfriend in Calgary. This has brought tension to his current employer VH1 and 51 Minds, as this did not show on his background check, for if they knew about this, he never would have been casted on the reality TV shows. Erica Worth, who was the private investigator at Collective Intelligence, saw the headlines and immediately contacted Straight Line International, who completed the background check on Ryan, asking for all official court documents they had on Ryan. However, Straight Line International were not responding. Backlash and negative press began on VH1. The Los Angeles Times headline read, "How did models accused murderer get on TV show?" while the New York Times headline read, "Killing raises new reality TV concerns." So, VH1 issued a public statement distancing itself from Megan Wants a Millionaire, and called it an outside production, produced by 51 Minds Entertainment. This resulted in Collective Intelligence firing 13 people, and suing Straight Line International for breach of contract, which they agreed to pay a settlement fee of $810,000. While VH1 cancelled Megan Wants a Millionaire and I Love Money 3, 51 Minds Entertainment was to reimburse the network $12 million for their loss. The following day, on the 21st of August, the manager had seen Ryan leave his motel room, and said he looked exhausted. He was completely unrecognizable from his warrant which was shown on the TV. Then at 11:30 a.m. on the 23rd of August, the manager and his nephew went to check on their motel room, as they were supposed to have been checked out. When they unlocked the door, and walked inside, they found Ryan's body hanging from a clothes rack by a belt. When they couldn't find a pulse, they called the police, who arrived soon after. While detectives were investigating the crime scene, they determined his death to be a suicide, and they found a document, saved on his computer, called Last Will and Testament, which was dated 3 days prior, on the 20th of August, 2009. His letter described how much he loved Jasmine, but also how frustrated she made him. He confessed that he was very jealous about some of her relationships which frustrated him immensely. By the time Ryan was found dead by suicide, the first 3 episodes of his reality TV show, Megan Wants a Millionaire, was airing on television. which had caused an uproar, as Ryan was just charged with Jasmine's murder. Although Ryan was never portrayed as a violent man on reality TV, questions followed if reality TV shows were doing enough to keep contestants safe. The TV show was immediately cancelled, and they had removed the aired shows, in respect for Jasmine and her family. Jasmine's life turned upside down in a space of 6 months. All she wanted was to be a model, and find a man who she could love and who could take care of her. When she met Ryan, she believed that he was the one. Little did she know that he was the worst decision she would ever make. From the beginning, Ryan lied about who he was. He lied to the TV industry and to Jasmine. He was not rich, let alone a millionaire. His family had money, and he would receive an allowance, which paid for his lifestyle. Ryan was also very jealous and overprotective of Jasmine, and he was threatened of Jasmine's past relationships, especially Robert Hasman, who was a millionaire with his own private jet, and he was someone who could give Jasmine a better life. Ryan and Jasmine would fight all the time, and when their relationship was at breaking point, Ryan would write love letters to Jasmine, asking for her to take him back, by making promises he couldn't fulfill. Jasmine's life ended too soon. She met Ryan on the 16th of March, married him within 2 days, then 6 months later, on the 15th of August, she was murdered by her husband.